back to Rivals of the East, everybody. I'm your host, Buzz, with co-host Sean and special guests. Welcome back to the show, Pitt Rick. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just watching the Steelers lose. That's all.
Yeah, I was wondering why your eyes were looking a little red there, a little teary-eyed there. What happened, man?
I just don't. I don't think they were prepared, and they do that all the time. Like they come in. I think they thought they had this game in the bag,
Well, I mean, they are
and
going against the Patriots.
I don't think they just played first quarter. They didn't play at all hardly. And the second period they turned on. It was too late. Plus, Trubisky threw a pick. They got 7 points off it. Last time he fumbled, and they got 7 points. So he's giving the opposing team 14 points in 2 games.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Sean, what happened? You guys haven't had an offensive line all year, and then you play TJ Watt, and now you decide to show up after you've lost 10 games.
Finally, the offensive line played like an offensive line, even though it's for a backup quarterback. So I don't know. The shakeup, it seems, for Zapped starting at quarterback seemed to work all of a sudden. Not really sure why. Juju kind of showing himself real early, making some tough catches. Behold, the tight end position that hasn't been seen in years in New England reappears. Zeke looking like, I don't know, a Zeke that can catch. I wouldn't say run because I kind of struggle doing that. But honestly, Mitch Trubisky tried throwing another 2 interceptions. So it wasn't for a lack of trying. He tried giving us 3 interceptions. But due to some poor play by J.C. Jackson, he got called for 2 pass interference calls. So they had to be overturned.
Just specialty, man. You know that.
Yeah, it's a little irritating kind of watching the Patriots team do this. I'm like, just please die. Just give us the draft pick and move on. I don't want hope.
Well, for those who don't know, Patriots actually won the second game of the season. Well, third. I'm sorry. They were 2-10. Let me give them a little more credit. They did beat the Jets earlier this year. 21-18 over the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Bailey Zappi, I'm waiting for the headline. I'm going to give it away for free. The headline is Steelers get zapped by Patriots. There you go. There's your headline. Bailey Zappi starts. What was that?
That's going to be it too. They were zapped by Zappy.
They were. Bailey Zappi started while Mac Jones was not even. He wasn't even the wingman. He was the emergency. He was the what? Designated driver, as they say. He wasn't even at the party. But Zappi goes 19-28, 240, 3 touchdowns, a pick. He was only sacked twice, which has got to be a record this season for starting quarterback for the Patriots. Meanwhile, poor Kenny Pickett, Rick, he got his ankle hurt. So your boy Mitch Trubisky, the Chicago Bears legendary quarterback, started, and he didn't do so hot. 22-35, 190, a touchdown and a pick. He was also only sacked twice. But he just wasn't very good there overall, to say the least. Really came down to the first half. That was the deciding
he made a good quarterback sneak for the touchdown. I mean, that was all right.
Yeah, he did. Give him credit where credit's due. Yeah.
But I want to know. I blame the Steelers coaching staff because Pickens is out there, and I watched him play. When he wasn't involved in plays, he was like, "Oh, da 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 da. That's it's not about me, so I'm not going to worry about it too much." So he was kind of lackadaisical on a lot of plays, man. A lot of plays.
So like Deontay Johnson?
Deontay Johnson was like complaining because he was open. They weren't getting the ball to him. I mean, I understand that. And he should have seen it, but he didn't. Like, I don't think Trubisky can read defenses very well.
What gave you that idea?
The way he throws.
honestly, I think he kind of looked like some of the Patriot receivers this year. But I think for the most part, they showed early that they were going to give him a single press coverage and had a safety over top. And I honestly think he just looked at the matchup every time and was like, I'm not getting the ball. He just looked disinterested, which I guess I kind of get.
Wasn't there another Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver who's not on the team that was disinterested all the time? Claypool?
Yeah. Claypool, excellent.
Yeah.
Patriots defense, probably the only thing that's consistent. And I will say J.C. Jackson's probably the most consistent player in the secondary, consistently playing bad, grabbing, holding, looking lost, getting physically outmanned. He was absolutely terrible. If it wasn't for him, I don't think Mitch Trubisky would have threw over 110. So there's that.
Yeah, there was a lot of plays like it was 23 for the Steelers, one of the defensive backs. He was flat out horrible. He couldn't cover Henry to save his butt.
Yeah.
Henry beat him every single time.
Yeah, I saw Henry get open a few times. One of them he did push off, and they called it back. But
Oh
even
yeah.
at that, you saw him like, I don't know, just get separation consistently, even if he didn't get the ball to him. There were a few times they pushed Zappy out of his spot, and he had to roll out and make some plays, or even throwing it away, which is something we don't see Mac do, which is why he's got 10 picks for the season. Statistical stat for Mac Jones: he has more interceptions than he does throwaways, so maybe he could learn from Zappy in that wherever he is, because it won't be in New England next year.
So where's he
But
going
the
to go?
Don't know, don't care.
He'll be a backup somewhere. That's all. He's never going to be a starter again.
Pittsburgh.
With that attitude,
No,
he might
no.
not even be able to
Well,
be a backup.
hold on, Rick. Would you rather have had Mac Jones play this game for you, or would you rather stuck with Trubisky?
I would rather. I would have put Mason Rudolph in and see what he can do. He's
Doesn't
been
he
in the
still have brain
organization long
damage
enough.
from Myles Garrett?
Yeah, he might. But you got to put him in. He's supposed to have a really good arm, so I have to put him in. He
Uh,
can't be worse than Trubisky. I'm sorry, he can't be.
honestly, I probably agree. Mason Rudolph is probably just a better like traditional passer. Like I think he could probably have made some plays against the secondary.
What's his overall Madden? That'll tell you.
Probably like a 72.
Yeah.
Mike
I would
Tomlin was
guess.
saying, "What's their overall Madden?" That's who we're starting.
I mean, early on, Trubisky had a few scampers and kind of got out of some pressures, but that guy, oof.
What I want to
Well,
know is what the Steelers, Rick. How do y'all lose to 2-10 teams in 4 days after firing an atrocious offensive coordinator? Like,
I don't care
what?
what they tell me, but to me, that the blame falls strictly on Mike Tomlin. I'm sorry. Tomlin is a good rah guy, but he's not a good strategist. I'm sorry. I don't think he has good game plans coming in. I don't think he coaches the game plan like that. He leaves it up to his subordinates, whatever. He's a rah type of coach. I don't think he has a good game plan going in. And it's proof in the pudding. He's only 3-10 against Belichick. Granted, they had Brady all them years, but still, there were years there in the playoffs. He got odd coached every single time.
Yeah, well, he didn't have Brady this time, and he still got outcoached.
Yeah, Belichick still has his number.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. And Belichick's got a lot of people's numbers. That's why he sends all those text messages to the wrong people. You know how that goes. But
you got the ball 4th and 2, and you're in the red zone, and you're going to run a play. You don't have any confidence in your passing. You're going to try and pass in the end zone. If you lose, you lose. But at least try to get it to the end zone.
Oh yeah, the trick play, they tried shuffling it out to the tight end, and the tight end nearly throws a pick.
he was watching Trubisky from the sideline and said, "Hey, I could do that."
Well, he didn't throw the ball. He tried to alley-oop it. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
There was no zip on.
he's lucky it got swatted back, but
Well, it's going to be kind of tough sledding because as far as like your actual schedule goes, Sean, I'll start with the Patriots. You guys got a tough stretch. You got flexed out of prime time, the first team to ever get flexed out of Monday Night Football, right?
correct.
That's how bad y'all are.
Correct.
You're playing the Chiefs. So you play the Chiefs next. You play the Broncos, the Bills, and the Jets. Are you going to win another game this season?
Or actually, it was Sunday prime time, actually. But irregardless, no difference. Still painful.
Sorry, prime time.
Are they going to win another game, you're asking?
Yeah, I want to know. Are they going to win another game?
Personally, no. Is there a possibility that maybe they get, a little emotional and they try to put it all out there because, they just got a little fire? The players in the locker room hearing them calling and everything sound really excited. They sound like a team that's been winning, apparently, but maybe they can use that momentum and catch another team sleeping. I don't think it's the Chiefs, for one. There's a possibility maybe with Denver. They're kind of in a similar situation where they're kind of letting momentum carry them onwards. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one at
Well,
best.
I would say the Jets probably. I think that they would beat that one. But here's the question too. Like you said, act like a team that's winning. Did you see the video of Bailey Zappi when he was in the locker room after the
Hmm.
game and he goes up to Bill O'Brien? He's like, ah, yeah, he's
Dapping him
hugging
up
him.
and then
And
just
then you
gives
see
a
Bill
thumbs
and
up.
Bill's like, good game. And he's just like, thank you, sir.
I,
Rick,
I think the Chiefs game is going to be tough for them. They lost to the Packers, so I know one thing: the Chiefs are going to be fired up.
well, the Chiefs also have to play this week without Pacheco and some of the other players on their
Yeah.
starting defensive line. So we'll see if they survive this week.
There's a suspension on one of the receivers. Was it Rice,
Yes.
I think? Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with the Chiefs, even recently, when they played the Patriots, they played down to their competition. Back when we had Mac Jones get injured and we had you know, Brian Hoyer come in, and it was kind of like the Chiefs were just like sleepwalking through the game. That the Patriots were in the game the whole time. There's a possibility you could have a similar situation. Patriots defense is playing well enough. Patrick Mahomes is good. He's gonna score when he needs to, and that's why I ultimately don't think they have a chance. Maybe Taylor Swift comes and visit, maybe not. Maybe the Patriots game is that bad. Who knows? Who
Hey,
knows?
we need to start a rumor though. If the Chiefs lose to the Patriots and Taylor Swift's at the game, we have to start calling it the Taylor Swift jinx.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to because it seems like that's a problem. At least Kelsey, he's just getting sidetracked. But Rick, y'all are 7-6, man. All right. And you got a tough division. You're playing against the Colts, the Bengals, the Seahawks, and the Ravens to close out the year. What do you think you're going to finish at? You're 7-6 right now.
6. I figure we're going to probably be 8 and 9.
Oh, who are you going to beat?
Colts, that's the only possibility, I think.
Colts. I don't think the Colts. I think the Colts are a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
So we might be able to take them. And then anytime it's in like a rival divisional game, for some reason we're always up for divisional games, especially the Ravens. We always support the Ravens Steelers game is always like 19-17, 21-18, 17-14. It's always a low scoring game.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. The fact that y'all beat the Ravens earlier this year, I was shocked really at that game. But Pittsburgh won the turnover battle. So that was a big reason why. As it stands right now, here's the funny thing. As it stands right now before this week plays out, because again, we have the Thursday night game that just wrapped up. But before the week starts, here are your 7 seeds in the AFC. You have Miami as number 1, by the way. You have the 2nd seed, believe it or not, is the Ravens, which can understand that. 3rd seed is the Chiefs. Jaguars are the 4th seed. The Browns are the 5th seed. The Colts are the 6th seed, and the Texans are the 7th seed, just like we all thought. The Browns, the Colts, and the Texans in the playoffs as of right now. Are any of these teams not going to make it?
I really can't see that. Like Joe Flacco's playing for the Browns now, and I really can't see Joe Flacco coming in and winning for him.
Why?
I look at the Browns schedule because I don't think you haven't played in a long time. You're that rusty. He might know the division, but it's changed a lot.
It has.
And I just don't think, like, sooner or later, that Ford guy's got to break down, and he's not going to run as well. Without their big gunner running back, I don't think they're going to make it all the way. And they're going to have a tough time beating the Ravens anyway.
Yeah. So you're saying Browns are going to miss?
I think the Browns will miss. I'll tell you what, I think the Bengals keep going. I think they're going to surprise everybody and pass everybody. Yep. Their defense is better than they give them credit for.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I could see the Bengals maybe squeezing in there, but it just depends on what's his name, Browning.
Yeah,
Browning. How he does there. Sean, do you think any of these teams aren't going to make it before we talk about the Finns Titans game?
I would probably say Browns, but outside of that, I think the Chiefs actually will drop. I
The
honestly
Chiefs are going to
think that.
drop.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose probably 2 positional spots in the seeding.
Do you think they lose to Buffalo this Sunday?
It's possible, very possible.
Yeah. Here's an interesting scenario, by the way. I played this out on the handy dandy ESPN playoff machine. So let's say hypothetically the Chiefs do lose this Sunday. Let's say Buffalo wins out the rest of their games. It's not an entirely terrible feat to try to accomplish with some of the teams they got to play. The two toughest immediately are going to be the Chiefs, but they're missing a lot of key pieces. And then they play the Cowboys. Very last game of the year, they play the Dolphins. Now, if you're looking at the landscape, the Bills could win out. They would take the division from Miami. And if Miami lost to the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills, they would actually drop down to the 7th seed. And if the Chiefs lost 2 of their next 4 to 5 games, I think it is, they would actually be the 6th seed.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a potential. In that case, you'd have, I think you'd have a game. Let's say if the Steelers squeaked one out, the Steelers would probably wind up playing the Chiefs. So
here's something even crazier. What if I told you mathematically the Patriots are still in it?
does every AFC team have to lose or tie?
No.
What?
Only 2 teams have to lose 2 games.
Who?
But the Patriots would have to win out. That's the problem.
Wait, so the Patriots could win out. They'd finish, they'd finish at
5.
no, they'd win out. They'd be 7-10. Okay.
Yeah. So mathematically, they would be in. They would have to win every game. I believe it's the Texans would have to lose 2 games, and the Bengals would have to lose 2 games. Yeah.
I can't even fathom if the Patriots made it to the playoffs at
It's
7
not
and
gonna.
10.
I mean, it's not gonna happen. And good news. I have really good news.
Oh,
Patriots didn't lose draft positioning at all. Stayed
Yet.
exactly the same.
yet.
It's not gonna change.
Well.
It's not gonna change. I
I
think the Panthers might get a win.
you think the Panthers are going to win?
There's a possibility.
Who are
I
they
don't
going to beat?
Yeah,
Who are
that's
the
what I want to
Panthers
know.
going to beat?
The Panthers play. Okay, so this week the Panthers play the Saints. I don't think they're beating the Saints. Even the
No.
Jameis
they're
Winston
trying to beat
starting, there's a possibility.
No, Jameis Winston will not lose that game against the Panthers.
Nah, they're going to keep giving the ball to Kamara.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last time I checked, he hasn't been good in 3 years.
Kamara's about to set. Actually, he's about to join 6 other
Receiving.
players.
Receiving.
Total scrimmage yards, but that's rushing as well.
Majority being receiving.
Listen, don't talk bad about him. He'll assault you. Okay?
Yeah, this is
He'll
true. He
find
would
you.
curb stomp me at a bar. That is fair.
You didn't have to worry about Marshawn Lynch with that problem. He'd just get drunk in his car on the side of the road. He wouldn't even go anywhere. He was a good guy.
Just
so
random off topic. I just saw something and I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Just talking about Russell Wilson. Marshawn Lynch was doing an interview and he was talking about one of the years, and I guess there was like a big game plan where they were supposed to throw for like over 400 yards on a team, and instead they actually ran the ball and kind of gave it to him a lot. And he wanted to message Russell Wilson and tell him how much he appreciated him spreading out the ball to him. And he went, but except for one little issue. And they're like, yeah, what's that? And he's like, I don't have his phone number. No one in the locker room has his phone number. And he's like, what? He goes, so I contacted our personnel and he got me in touch with them. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, you didn't get a call? He goes, no. He goes, that's because Russell Wilson had him blocked. So that's the kind of leader you got there in Russell Wilson.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but the Broncos are in the hunt for the playoffs.
Yep. It would have been more in the hunt if they didn't lose it to Houston.
Well, I mean, like, how is that even possible? It was like, what, a few weeks back? It feels like Miami dropped 70 on them.
Yeah.
And now here they are in the hunt for the playoffs. Which, speaking of, we've got a big Monday night game coming up here. The Titans and the Dolphins in Miami. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Will Levis, man, he can play offense and defense. He threw a pick, ran down the field, punched the ball out of the defender's hands, and got it back.
Really?
Yeah, he
I would
forced
just
a
say
fumble.
don't throw it in the first place, but
He's only thrown 2 picks this season, 7 touchdowns, about
he's thrown the
1,300
game
yards.
away though. He's thrown a few games away though.
He has, but is Derrick Henry going to actually do
No.
anything this game.
No, he's gonna save his energy for moving on to a different team.
Ravens,
I don't know. Apparently it's Eagles. That's what I see out there.
they already have Swift.
Hey, I didn't. Don't yell at me.
I'm
That's
not.
what the rumors are.
I think you just make things up, Sean.
No.
He's going to Dallas.
Dallas.
Why? So they can pay more money to someone who's on the end, and then Zeke comes to us for chump change and plays well again.
I mean, personally, Derrick Henry has had a good season. He's got 850 yards rushing, I think. 8 touchdowns.
It's just he set the bar so high. I think
Yeah.
in comparison to his other seasons, it looks bad.
Yeah, it's not 2 years ago, right? In fact, what was it? 2 years ago, it was Chubb and Henry were neck and neck like every week, like
Foot
on
surgery
pace.
changed it all.
Yeah, and then the foot surgery changed. But that was the year that, remember, Henry didn't play for like 4 weeks, and he was still the number one rusher.
Yeah.
It's like Kirk Cousins this year when he was out for like 3 weeks, and he was still like second in passing yards for 3 weeks straight. Unbelievable. So, Rick, what's your prediction for the Dolphins-Titans game on Monday night? What do you think's going to happen? You've seen a lot of heartache.
I think the Dolphins will win. When you start a rookie quarterback, I mean, he's going to make a mistake somewhere, misread coverage. I think that's all it's going to take. And the Dolphins have too much offense for him, I think.
What are your thoughts on Tua?
You know, as long as he don't get hurt, he's okay. But I like his release. He has a really quick release. I give him credit for that. He doesn't hold the ball very long. It saves a lot of time. His offensive line seems a little better. And I think they have a better game planner on him now, where he doesn't hold the ball as long as he used to.
I was talking with Sean about it, and I think it's not even the offensive line coaching. It's just the scheme that Mike McDaniel's put together for that offensive line, because they have it in such a way where he just gets the ball out of his hands as fast as possible so he doesn't get hit.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, just throw it to 3. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
yards after
throw it to him whether he's open in that spot. Doesn't matter. Just throw
the ball in any spot. He'll completely readjust his body. I laughed because the Dolphins played the Commanders last week, and Tyreek Hill was going deep, and the ball Tua threw this ball that was just like way out of place, and Tyreek had to shift and adjust his whole body, and Tyreek caught it for a big play. And Tyreek Hill comes back to the sideline, and this is from the Hard Knocks, and he goes, "What was that? Don't ever do that again." And then there's like a tweet. He says, "Tua was looking out for me. I ran the wrong route. And he put just enough air under the ball so I could adjust." I'm like, bro, come on.
So
I know they're paying
in and out.
I know they're paying you a lot of
and
money,
make the
but
catch. Come on, guy.
This is all I got to say about Tua. That's why I ask. Sean knows how I feel. Tua is not him. I know people are going to think I'm crazy, but Tyreek Hill is an absolute MVP. It could probably make Mac Jones put up similar numbers. And I'm not even joking. Yeah, he didn't matter. But I'm not even joking. Tyreek Hill has the ability to elevate his quarterback from his ability and his skill set. Not many receivers can say that. Few receivers can, like Randy Moss and guys like that. But I think Tyreek Hill, if he's not on this team with the Dolphins, we are not the team that we are. That's just the way it is. Tua's played. He's turned the ball over a lot this year. Fumbles, interceptions. The Jets game that we played, he looked pretty bad. He had 2 picks. One was a pick 6. He threw a pick 6 against the Giants. He's a lot more careless with the ball because he's just always relying on Hill. He's not a guy who reads defenses after the snap. He's just, there it is. Whether you're there or not, I'm going to throw it. So in that regard, you can't pay a guy. I think if we signed Tua to like 37, 38 mil a year, I think that's, reasonable. But if you sign him to like 57 mil a year or plus that, I mean, you can't build a team around him. We're going to stink. That's just the way it is. You can't sign anybody. You can't keep Hill. You can't keep Waddle. They just paid Austin Jackson, who hasn't even completed the full season and has had a pretty good year. Not great, but his bar was so low. He was a terrible lineman to begin with that they just paid him now already. A cheaper contract, but I mean, this is the problem with like our team is that we're all predicated. This is what I don't like. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. This is what I don't like, Rick. This is what I don't like, Sean. I don't like when people say a team is good on hypotheticals. We have not officially won the division yet. We have not won a playoff game. We have not gone to a Super Bowl. We have not done anything. We have beat teams that are terrible. We have beat a Jets team that is atrocious. We have beat a Commanders team that is led by Ron Rivera, for God's sakes. They're worse off now than when he first got there. We have beat a Broncos team that was in the dumps. We beat a Patriots team. Need I say more? Sorry, Rick. We have beat teams that are just terrible, and we have lost. We got blown out by the Bills by 30 points almost. We lost to the Eagles decisively. We lost to the Chiefs, who haven't even been that good this year, but we still couldn't even beat them. Like we haven't done anything. That's what I'm saying. So I don't like these things where everybody's assuming Miami's a team that's going to win it all. We haven't won anything.
Well,
And that's why your score is going to be 48 to like 10, right?
Well, it's great to beat up on teams like that, but still.
I don't know how, like, I don't know anybody's going to beat the 49ers.
Not right now. No.
Not ever. That's just, I mean, they cleaned up Philadelphia. They wiped Philadelphia. They wiped the map of Philadelphia. So I can't see anybody beat them.
What scares me is that, we're a team, like when you get to the playoffs, and you know this, guys, is when you're in the playoffs, it's almost like a reset, but everybody's really good.
Yeah.
And so there's enough film on every single team and player that these teams only need to win one time and they move on, and they only need to beat you once. So there's this whole thing of, if we're in the playoffs and we play a team, we have got 3 games I'm counting as losses. I think, by the way, the Dolphins are going to stomp the Titans, by the way. But we have 3 losses on our schedule. Cowboys, we're not beating the Cowboys. We're not beating the Ravens in Baltimore. That is not going to happen. And I honestly think we're probably going to lose to the Bills. And I'll tell you why, because if Buffalo is at a spot where all they need to do is win to beat us and they're in, and they get home field advantage because they would take the division, they're going to beat us. They've proven that they can. We beat them by 2 points one time. That was it.
Yeah. But the Bills are going to come down to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the gunslinger. I looked at his stats. He's thrown more interceptions than you can believe.
13.
No, I mean for his whole career. He's an interception machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
He throws a lot.
Like
And
Mac
that's
Jones.
because he's a gunslinger. He doesn't care. He's putting the ball there. Go get it. If you can get it, fine. If you can't, I don't care. He just throws it.
Why doesn't that work for Mac Jones, Sean?
Well, if the ball even had slight amount of speed that Josh Allen did.
See, that's his problem.
Mac Jones is worse, as in Josh Allen, he's like pitching you the ball and he's hitting you with the 80-mile-per-hour ball, and you're like, all right, quick, throw the pick. Let's move on to the next possession. And it's Mac Jones. You're sitting there watching it like cinematography, just like the ball floating, coming down. You're like, and that's a pick.
Well, that's a pick Zabriskie threw. It looked like it took like forever to get there. No wonder he picked it off.
Yeah. Peppers was running full speed. He saw back like all the way in the stands and came down running for it.
Yeah, it was just like a blur on the screen. I'm like, was that Jabril Peppers? You know what? Here's the big question, though, too. So, again, Dolphins are probably going to beat the Titans. I'm going to say Dolphins win 34-17. We'll go round table on the score real quick. Rick, final score predictions for Miami, Tennessee.
Tennessee, I think it's going to be like 38-21.
Okay. Sean?
I think it's actually going to be an ugly game, low scoring, but guess what? That's all you need against the Titans. 21-13.
Believable. Tua probably throws 2 picks. Something along those lines. Bill Belichick, of course, we'll kind of close it out with this tonight, guys. Bill Belichick is on the hot seat. He's off the hot seat. Reports that, I don't know if you saw the report, they're like, he could warrant a first-round draft pick. I thought it was the stupidest article. I'm like, you mean a 6-time winning Super Bowl head coach could warrant a first-round draft pick when Sean Payton got what? Is Bill Belichick really going to come back next year, or is he going to go somewhere else, or is he going to just ride off into the sunset with Tom Brady? and
I
drinking
think
mimosas.
the writing's on the wall for him to leave.
You think
it's
Robert
pretty
Kraft wrote
obvious.
it on the wall in crayon?
Yes. I think he kind of did a few things in the past year or so, and I think that started with GM decisions. It's kind of been taken out of his hands, especially when it came to the draft. It was actually even noted by Kraft 2 years ago that he said it's going to be more of a group decision when it comes to making those decision making, and I think that was the first step of him going, "Hey,
All I know is one
might need
thing.
to go."
There's always one sentence you got to look at. Follow the money.
So who would pay him?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if anyone's willing to pay him $25 million that he's making now. That's the
Depends on how
report.
bad you want to
That's the
win.
reported pay, by the way.
Yeah,
You got
reported.
you got certain teams or franchises. I'm sure the Bears would give him 25 million if he could win.
Eberflus is a great
I
head
don't
coach.
think I don't think he would go to the Bears. I don't think he would want to go to the Bears.
I told Sean too. I said that I think the only place that Bill would realistically go to coach is probably the Giants.
But he won't do that and usurp his buddy that he texted congratulating him for the job.
Wrong
over in,
Brian.
New York.
Whoops. Wrong
Go
Brian.
go out West Coast, coach the Rams.
McVay's still there.
Get rid of him too. He's not that good.
Just get rid of him.
Rick the GM. What's his record this season? Well, McVay's won a Super Bowl. Now, what's his record this season? Well, they have a losing record. Fire him. No, I'm dead serious. It's like the Panthers approach. I'm dead serious though. I do think that New England is going to be rid of Bill Belichick after the season and he'll be rid of them. But I also feel like, maybe he will test the market. He's going to be the hottest free agent probably in the NFL if he sticks around. Head coach, special teams player, maybe, he'll suit up.
Yeah,
Green Bay
keeps challenge flags in his tube sock. He's a hot commodity out in the market.
Rick,
what do you think of Jordan Love? Is he the next Aaron Rodgers?
He's gotten better as the season's gone along. I watched him play. He manages the team really, throws a lot better. But something about him, I don't think he has it, to be honest with you. I mean, he's playing well right now. Maybe it's the system. I don't know.
The facial hair?
I'm not impressed by him. Yeah, I'm not impressed by him at all.
You think if he had Aaron Rodgers' facial hair, you would think he's more like Aaron Rodgers?
No. Aaron Rodgers is good, but he's also one of the luckiest guys. How many Hail Marys did he throw that got caught? And it was like,
don't ask the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Every time he played the Cardinals in the wild card, that was must-watch TV. Every single time they go to I'll never forget the game. It was like 50-something to 40-something, and Aaron Rodgers gets sacked by Carlos Dansby and kicks the ball up right to the defender, and he runs it in overtime, and they win. It was back in Ken Wisenhunt days when they had Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald. What's his name? Anquan Bolden, Steve Breston. They had Beanie Wells. I played with Beanie Wells in Madden 2010, and then the first carry he took, he got injured, and it said, broken spine, career ending. He wasn't in my league anymore. They don't make him like they used to. Career ending. Now it's just bruised sternum in the games.
And I still want the 49ers check. They got to be over the cap, man. I'm serious. I don't know how they stand with the cap.
Brock Purdy cost $10.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but they picked up at defensive end, number one draft pick from Washington. He can't be cheap.
Well, he's actually this is a year that they got him for. If they let him walk next year, there's no cap penalty. So essentially, it's a rental.
So, and from what I understand, he's playing well for the 49ers.
Well, yeah, because he's got Nick Bosa on the other end. I mean, you can't block both guys because then you still got was it Eric Armstead? That's right there as defensive tackle, and Kinlaw and stuff like that. So I mean, they're a nasty football team. They're a very physical football team, and that's the one thing I will say is Dallas has also got a defensive line that's pretty nasty. Their offensive line is pretty physical. I think Dallas is actually going to beat the Eagles in the rematch. So
that's going to be, it all depends. I heard Jalen Hurts not 100%. He's like 85, 80, 87%. He's not real healthy, so that could hurt him.
He smacked Jones with feet.
Neither was Tom Brady. He won a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
But
You know.
they
It's
got to keep
funny. Go ahead, Rick.
number 11 on Dallas off of Jalen Hurts or get hurt.
Yeah. I will say this funny story I heard because we were talking about Tom Brady. There's always the talk of Tom Brady is like Michael Jordan, like they're neck and neck, even though they're not, right?
They're not.
But Tom Brady won a lot of championships. Michael Jordan won a lot of championships. The legacy's there. Okay. Sean, I sent this video to you. I didn't know this, but apparently Michael Jordan, he had a little bit of a gambling problem. And so when the Bulls were hot in the early 90s, there was a story of a guy that was on a podcast radio show, and he was talking about how he'd like to go. It was the day that the Bulls were playing the Cavs in 93, I think it was. And so they were playing the Cavs that night, and Jordan wanted to go to the golf course and bet some money on some 18 holes. Well, guy goes out there, he beats Jordan in the 18 holes, wins a couple grand. It's 10 a.m. he says, and he's like, well, you probably got to get going, right? Because the game's tonight. He's like, nah, we're gonna play again, but hold on. He pulls out this big old chest. He fills it with ice and a bunch of Coors Light, and Jordan down like 15 Coors Light, and he lost another 2 grand, and he's kind of drunk, and he goes, you probably should get back. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go now, but how about this? I'll bet you this, double or nothing. We're gonna win tonight by 20 points or more, and I'm gonna score 40 points or more. And then you owe me back. He's like, really? Okay, I'll take that bet. And so a wasted Michael Jordan scored 48 points on the Cavs, and they won by 26, and he won all his money back. So I don't know. I'm curious if Tom Brady was ever drunk when he played like the Jets or somebody and just still scored like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns or whatever.
No, just that little interesting tidbit. I forgot he was on the what was the late night show, but basically he was talking about when he was a rookie and he was out drinking after a game. He would out drink the offensive lineman in just a beer drinking contest. They said they don't know how he does it. I don't know. Today it's probably not part of his diet. It's not figured. It's not possible. He might
Avocado.
Yeah, he might die if he drank a beer today. But he apparently was the fastest beer chugger in the entire locker room. I'm like, I don't know. Harrison probably should have put him up for his money on that one.
Probably.
Harrison looks like a guy that enjoys his beer.
Bill too.
Yeah.
Bill's IPA guy probably.
No. Bill's out there on his boat like swishing his red wine and just drinking away.
He's drinking a mimosa. That's Bill Belichick's drink of choice because he's up so early.
Yeah.
Orange juice with vodka. With his binoculars, just checking out.
Screwdriver.
I figured Bill Belichick probably has some in the coolers on the sidelines. The way the season's been going, he probably has a couple of beers in there already.
That's my favorite. Rick, did you ever see when he got the challenge flag and he was just throwing it at the referee this season? Just takes it and throws it. And then he got on the phone and he got mad. He just chucks the phone or he throws the tablet down.
Yeah. My favorite's when the ref said you can't throw it until after we make the ball placement. So he sat there with the flag like this, staring at them, and as soon as they placed the ball, he hit them with it.
Even the announcers were busting out laughing. I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, what is going on? Bill's fed up. He's had enough with losing. He's tired of everybody saying it's all because of Tom Brady that he has.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Tom Brady didn't play special teams, and
hey, wait a second,
can't play either.
Todd Bowles could get fired from the Bucks.
He will.
What if Bill went to the Bucks and won a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield?
And he ain't winning, I'm telling you, he ain't winning no Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield.
There's a more likely chance that Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator for the Bucks, seeing as he wanted to draft Baker Mayfield when the Patriots had an opportunity, if you don't remember that.
If there's anybody's judgment you can trust, it's Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. He's really good at pissing off the good players you have on your roster and halfway winning one season and then completely tanking the next. Yep.
Don't ever talk about the Patriots like that.
Don't you ever.
Yeah. Well, big thank you for Rick for stopping in on this episode, man.
No
Hope
problem.
that you can stop crying yourself to sleep. You got another week to recover, and Sean, you as well. Even though you were hoping to drop
Yeah.
down a little in the draft position there, but we'll see what happens. We've got Dolphins and Titans coming up. Miami's probably going to blow them out, or at least win by 1 or 2 scores. Hopefully, if we lose this game, we got some problems. So hopefully we don't. But check us out on YouTube, wherever podcasts are available. We'll catch y'all after this week's episode. Adios, everybody.